Good morning and welcome to News Desk. I'm Sarah Williamson. As bushfires rage across Australia, devastating millions of acres of forest and farmland, killing thousands of animals and making hundreds homeless, an OurCrowd portfolio company has been helping first responders on the ground. Edgybees is an uses augmented reality to help the emergency services communicate fast and effectively during these disasters. Here to tell us more about it is the CEO of Edgybees, Kaplan. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here at the News Desk. Now, first of all, tell us what is Edgybee technology and how does it work?
So Edgybees takes real-time data, and we're able to accurately take that data and put it onto the video. So in the case of Australia, we're able to take the drone feeds that are coming from the video from those drones, as well as from helicopters, and place the information accurately in real time over that video, and then take that information and put it back and send it back to the command centers, give that information to the people on the ground, allow them to plan the escape routes of evacuees, to plan where they're taking those first responders and where they should put them in real time.
So you've been using this technology in Australia, but where else is Edgybees technology being used?
So the technology's been put in various types of applications. In particular, it's been used in California during the wildfires. In addition, it's being used in industrial cases such as with oil and gas companies, farming, as well as in the US Department of Defense.
So now tell us, what is next for Edgybees? What can we expect?
Well, we live in a world of billions and billions of video. We have video coming from drones, from airplanes, cars. We have cameras virtually everywhere. The one common thread we have is that we're not able to understand that video. So what we do by taking that data and allowing people to understand what they're looking at is really our focus is to make this a platform where people can understand that video in real time and make instant decisions.
Well, it's an incredible initiative. Thank you so much for joining me at the News Desk.
Okay.
Thank you. And now we move to China.
We begin this morning with our ongoing coverage of the coronavirus outbreak.
The city's hospitals are overwhelmed with patients and the doctors are at breaking point.
And it's moved at a frightening pace in just a matter of weeks. The virus, which originated in Wuhan, has spread to every region of China.
Every passenger screened for signs of the coronavirus.
The first human-to-human case of the coronavirus here in the US.
Coronavirus has already killed more people than the SARS virus of 2003. And MeMed is an OurCrowd portfolio company that will soon launch new technology capable of identifying whether a disease is caused by a viral or bacterial infection within just 15 minutes of a simple blood test. MeMed's co-founder and CEO, Dr. Eran joins me now on stage. Dr. Eran, thank you so much for joining me. Now, Eran, this new diagnostic test that you're developing, tell us about how it works and what are the benefits for doctors and for patients?
Absolutely. So it all starts with a clinical problem, something that is seemingly simple. You go to the doc with your child, they're sick, they have a fever, you mostly feel sorry for yourself, or maybe you're sick, or maybe your parents. And the clinical question is often, is it a bacterial or a viral infection to treat with antibiotics or chicken soup? And the problem is that we usually don't know because bacterial and viral infections are often clinically indistinguishable. Then this gives rise to one of the biggest healthcare challenges of our time, antibiotics overuse and the rise of resistant strains of bacteria. What we've been developing for nearly a decade is a technology that takes a snapshot of your immune system, arguably the best detection system out there, and we're basically monitoring different molecules of your immune system with algorithms and sensors telling you whether your body is waging a war on the bacteria or the virus, whether to treat or not to treat.
So, in what way does using your body's immune response help us beyond the more traditional tests and standards of care?
Okay, great. So, there's many solutions out there. Culture, you grow it in a dish, PCRs, rapid strep tests. And, well, using the immune response is not just a geeky, cool technology. It enables you to overcome some inherent limitations of current technologies. A, it's very fast, you can do it within minutes. B, you can diagnose inaccessible infections because you don't have You don't need to have access to the infection site. The immune system circulates throughout the entire body. Third, it is not sensitive to colonizers or carriage, so you know if it's an enemy or just a bystander. And four, every time you have a new strain, you don't have to redevelop the technology because the immune system has been fighting this war for hundreds of millions of years. That's why the immune system, using that is a paradigm shift that gives you some advantages.
So you've set out to solve a problem that is the overuse of antibiotics. Now, how does this relate to epidemics such as coronavirus?
Well, the technology itself broadly is monitoring the host immune response, and some derivatives of this technology can be applied to other diseases, including potentially in outbreaks. So we have some preliminary data, still work in progress, when one can monitor the immune response, potentially telling you that somebody will be sick before he knows that he's going to be sick. So eventually you can potentially use that for detecting infectious patients or individuals in the pre-symptomatic stage. Now, important to say, this is very preliminary, and we're obviously working with quite a lot of collaborators around the globe to try to advance this right now rapidly.
Dr. Eran, it's been a pleasure having you join me here at the news desk. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. We now turn to farming, where a worldwide water shortage is just one of the challenges. Technology developed by CropX helps producers trying to feed a constantly growing population, and they've just announced the acquisition of a much bigger company. Here's more.
It's irrigation with a difference. Unique CropX technology scans your field and analyzes its different zones. The CropX mobile app directs you to the exact point in your field to place the sensor in the soil. Simply scan the QR code and the sensor automatically connects to the system, starts gathering data, and sending it to the cloud. Now that your fields are connected online, expect to receive texts from them. Your fields now have a voice.
So, Dad, what's your field saying today?
No need to water today. The CropX system automatically generates the optimal irrigation plan and sends it to the app for you to approve or modify.
Hey, Dad, the field's texting you.
CropX, the internet of soil.
And Tzach comes and joins me on stage right now. He is the CEO of CropX, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks.
Now, Thomas, startups don't usually buy up other companies, but in a very bold move a few weeks ago, you acquired a much larger company from America called CropMetrics. Now, what was the driver behind this acquisition, and what were you looking to achieve?
Yeah, so first of all, I agree with you that this is kind of non-typical for a startup to buy a company. Specifically in this case, which was a much larger company than us. There was kind of an Israeli chutzpah aspect to it. We actually had quite a few contenders that competed us on this deal, and one of them specifically, for example, was a huge multinational billion-dollar company, and essentially it was our, I think, agility and essentially being a startup that enabled this deal to fall in the right place. So we're very happy with it. With respect to the second half of your question, so commercialization, that's what we were looking for. Access to market, customers, a very significant dealer network. You see this quite often. Companies, startups coming out of Israel typically are very strong with their tech, but are developing far away from market. For us, for example, the United States. And so this deal in that respect just gave us a huge boost, or it was like commercialization on steroids. It took us forward probably 2 years in terms of our commercialization efforts.
Now, earlier we saw some of the devastation that's been caused by bushfires in Australia, and we're seeing increasingly erratic weather patterns happening all over the world with severe droughts and problems with fresh water supplies. Now, how can CropX technology help us tackle a global water shortage?
Well, that's easy. I mean, that's exactly what we do. CropX's product helps farmer do a better job with irrigation, with fertilizer management, and that results in better yields. So farmers that use our system very quickly realize that they're saving as much as 50% of their water, and that results in millions of gallons saved on a single farm daily.
Tomer, thank you so much for joining us here on the News Desk. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And now we turn to Japan, where Toyota has just unveiled its latest car, the LQ, featuring new artificial intelligence.
Its name is LQ. Our goal with LQ is to demonstrate capabilities that will protect, delight, inform, and connect passengers while preserving a functional layout, practical design, and fun-to-drive performance. Beyond the design of the car itself, we are combining global expertise to build and deploy a cloud infrastructure, and we are leveraging best practices in software, AI, and cloud technology. Its AI agent is called Yui, and it helps enable people and cars to better communicate and become true teammates. We employ Yui to function as a personalized, hands-free, cloud-connected assistant that not only responds to the driver, but also prompts the driver when important to engage in a dialogue. Our vision is to create a human and machine system that would learn from and adapt to each individual, understanding their preferences and needs, and continuously building trust. We look forward to telling you more about how we are both integrating automated driving capability and Yui into the Toyota LQ.
Now joining me here on the stage is Dor Schooler from the Intuition Robotics and Jim Adler from Toyota AI Ventures. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Sarah.
Now, Dor, I want to start with you. Last year, you demonstrated your robot assistant, LEQ, here on the stage, and you told us about the tie-up with Toyota. So now, what's the connection with the LQ car?
Yeah, thanks. So actually we have two pieces of news. The first is that we're happy to announce today that our cognitive AI agent Q that you see up on here on the screen is actually used by Toyota Research Institute, and we helped them create the Yui agent. It will be alive and on the road this summer in Japan. And thank you. And the second piece of news, on the back of a year in which LEQ spent our robot for the elderly, that a lot of you returning people to Summit know, this last year it spent 10,000 days in people's homes, people aged 78 to 98, creating amazing interactions and proving that we can create a relationship between humans and machines. And on the back of that, we're happy to announce also today, and this just hit the wire a few minutes ago because it's news for Summit, that we're able to complete our Series B funding that we launched here last year and raise $36 million for the company.
Congratulations, that's an amazing effort. Now, Jim, Toyota AI Ventures led the company's Series A, participated in the B round, and now you've joined the company's board of directors. So why are you so excited about Intuition Robotics?
Yeah, I'm clearly excited. We fell in love with the company because of the empathetic approach to connecting humans with machines, embodied in LEQ for the elderly. But as our teams began to understand more of the underlying technology, we moved into a more commercial relationship, and that collaboration is growing, and we are really excited about that. When we first invested, you never know where this is going to go, right? We invest for teams that are creative and energetic, and you never know where the technology and team may take you, and we're so excited to be part of this evolution of the company.
So how is your team at Toyota AI Ventures supporting Intuition Robotics, and why invest in an empathetic companion company from Israel to help you with all of this?
Yeah, Toyota AI Ventures is really about exploring what might be next for Toyota, and you got to be active in Israel to really fulfill that mission, we firmly believe. And in fact, a few months ago at CES, we announced our second call for innovation to find and fund startups that are focused on smart cities and connected technologies. And so all of you founders that are out there, or those that are thinking about starting a company, go to our website. You can upload your pitch, and we will streamline your review of your company, and maybe I'll be sitting next to you one day here on stage.
Now, gentlemen, before I let you go, Dor, I want to turn back to you because you just said that you now have another $36 million handy. How do you plan to spend it?
Yeah, so Jim told me not to say on salaries to the founders. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so we grew the company this year from 38 people to 85 people. We more than doubled the size of the team, and I'm happy to say also, while retaining the entire previous team and really working hard on retaining the culture of the team itself. And what we've seen is that there's demand for this new relationship that's possible between man and machine, not just with the elderly and not just in automotive, but also in additional domains. So we're going to be busy doubling down on our research and creating deeper competitive moats on our technology, while also delivering on the missions we've started and starting to explore additional domains.
Gentlemen, Jim, Dor, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you on the stage.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Now, in 2018, one leading food manufacturer was feeling intense pressures on its frozen food product and turned to artificial intelligence to uncover new trends and predictive insights that would turn their business around. Now, today, what was once a losing proposition is now a multi-million-dollar business. The company behind this turnaround is Signal Analytics, based in Netanya. And here to explain the technology changing the face of market research and how external data can drive businesses is the Director of Business Strategy at Signal Analytics, Dr. Omer Kahat. Omer, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Now, Omer, tell us, how does this differ from traditional market research that we see?
So this is very disruptive. We take the traditional in-depth quality market research and apply the scale and speed of AI. So we collect data from an enormous amount of external data sources, and with our patented NLP processes, we deliver what's relevant to our customers. Our platform is also very customizable and can be tailored to your needs. And because of our back-end automation processes, the data is always refreshed and up-to-date, so any insights that you see on the platform are actionable and timely. This is really a game changer in a data-driven world.
So, Omer, let's just say that I'm the brand manager for a product. Why should I care about this? How does it help my business? And what kind of actionable information will this give me to take to my board and ask for another $50 million to do a product launch or rebranding?
So our platform really teaches you a lot about your category, what product claims are being made, like low in fiber, high in sodium, low in fat. It can also show you what consumers are talking about. So, for example, we've seen that consumers are very, very much aware of looking at at artificial color-free products. However, the market hasn't really innovated in that direction, and there's no products answering those needs. It can also show you what consumers associate these concepts with, for example, protein. So when you go and look at your messaging concept, you can use that to learn. It can also teach you that some things are actually negative, like fresh, so you would avoid that in your messaging.
Now, you're talking about predicting future trends here. So how exactly does it work?
Well, we've seen quite a few examples, and you talked about the frozen food manufacturer in the past, but since we're now launching our beverage model, I want to focus in on that segment. We had a customer that was growing, that was really tuning into the negative sentiment around carbonated soft drinks. And through our platform, they learned that consumers, when they're looking for an alternative to carbonated soft drinks, they're looking for something which is low on calorie. Through this insight, they launched a new product line, and now this brand is on its way to becoming a $1 billion brand.
Omer, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you at the news desk. Thank you. Now, the innovations we're seeing today rely on a steady stream of young new companies with new ideas entering the market. In 2019, OurCrowd deepened its commitment to early stage startups, winning 4 tenders for high-tech incubators with its partners, making OurCrowd the largest incubator operator in Israel. Now, OurCrowd also won its first international tender and was chosen to run a tech incubator by the government of New Zealand. Here to talk about this major new direction in OurCrowd's business is the man responsible for giving government relations and Israeli partnerships at OurCrowd, Ori Sobovitz. Ori, thank you so much for joining me. Now, Ori, OurCrowd is a crowdfunding platform, so why is it that you're running incubators as well?
So that's a great question. So as John said this morning, there's a lot of money in the market. Only last year, Israeli companies raised $8.3 billion. That's a lot of money. But unfortunately, most of the money goes after later stage companies. People who are going to hunt unicorns, $1 billion companies. There's lack of money in early stage companies. So we are privileged to run 4 incubators in Israel and 1 in New Zealand, where these incubators are backed by the government. The beauty here that 85% of the money that we invest in each company actually comes from the government, from the Israel Innovation Authority. Only 15% comes from us, and the government doesn't take any equity. So the genius of this program is it really creates a win-win-win situation. It's a win for entrepreneurs because it makes it much easier for them to raise money. It's a win for us, VCs, corporates, investors, because it incentivizes us to invest in an early stage company. But more than everything else, it's a win for the country, for the GDP, for the economy. Because if you think about it, while in the short run, most of the money comes from the government, 85%, as I mentioned before, in the long run, most of the money actually comes from the private sector. Because after 2 years of incubation, it's much easier for these companies to raise money out there. And that creates more jobs, more incomes from taxes, and more exits.
So what happens to a company once they're inside an OurCrowd incubator? What can they expect to gain from this?
So we truly believe in hands-on mentorship approach, which means that from day one, we help these companies to build their business model and to validate it. But more than that, from day one, we're looking with them, not only in Israel, but mostly abroad, to find the right partner, the right client, and more than everything else, the right investor for them for the next round. So it works. I mean, we have the first company in our Jerusalem Lab 02 incubator, a company named C2A Security. After less than 1 year, the company closed their first round. So it works.
Certainly sounds like it. Now, you're expanding to New Zealand. Why there of all places? And is this just the start of a global expansion?
So New Zealand is amazing, and we truly believe in the innovation in the areas of food tech and ag tech in New Zealand. But more than that, New Zealand imitated the Israeli model of the IIA, the Israel Innovation Authority, and they're also backing these incubators and incentivizing the private sector to invest in these companies. And yes, we do want to build more incubators next year because, you know, innovation is all about collaboration and diversity. And you think about it, the private-public partnership, the PPP model, putting together startups, corporates, VCs, and now also putting together incubators from all over the world. We think we just discovered the secret sauce, how to build the good incubators and to grow these companies out of these incubators for the next round. And by the way, when they finish the incubation period, they become part of our deal flow in OurCrowd.
Ori Sobovitz, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And I would like to invite the crowd to come at 3:40 to a panel about the incubators with the chief scientist of Israel that just arrived, Dr. Ami Appelbaum.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. And now we look to the future. OurCrowd and Samsung XTC have been hosting a regional round of Extreme Tech Challenge, where startups from around the world are competing to address urgent global issues like poverty, inequality, and climate change. Here's more.
Innovation isn't about changing statistics. It's about changing human lives. We're gathering startups from around the globe to join us in this movement. Together, we can use disruptive technology to solve some of humankind's greatest challenges, not only for this generation, for every generation to come.
Now joining us to announce the regional XTC finalists is the head of the Samsung Strategy and Innovation Center in Israel, Rutie Adar. Thank you so much for joining me, Rutie. Now, welcome to the news desk, but before you announce the finalists, because that's the main thing that we're here to do, tell us what you were looking for from the companies that entered the XTC competition.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you. So actually, we're looking for entrepreneurs that tackle these huge challenges that mankind faces in fresh air, clear water, food for everyone, fintech, education, inclusiveness. We're looking for entrepreneurs that have the vision, the commitment, the courage, and also the technology know-how to solve these problems.
And what kind of ideas are you seeing come through from competitors from different parts of the world?
So ideas come in many, many topics. From one regional competition, we had a company that turns industrial waste CO2 into animal feed.
Wow.
From another region in the world, we had a company using machine learning to develop new drugs. And from a third region, we had a company that was providing banking for the unbanked.
So, Rutie, the companies that you announced today are going on to the finals that are going to be held in Paris. What can they expect to gain for participating in this competition, and what is the ultimate prize for the winner?
Excellent question. So actually, we're very excited about the exposure that these companies are going to get from XTC. They're going to be able to engage with leading investors and with corporates in their domain in order to gain funding or to create collaborations. That will be in Paris in June in Vivatech.
Well, I think it's about time that we make the announcement then. Rutie, can you please tell us who the regional finalists for the 2020 Samsung Extreme Tech Challenge are?
Great, so I'm very happy to announce our 3 winners of XTC. First, Guy Kashtan, CEO of Rewire. Rewire is a company that developed an international neobank for the migrant workers, enabling them to manage and control their finances and secure the future of their family. Second, we have Sa'ar Safra from BeWise. BeWise is a company that uses AI-powered robotic beehives in order to preserve and secure the bee population and promote pollination, very important for our feeding the universe. And last, we have Tomer Tzach from CropX. So CropX, as you saw before, is a company that is helping to revolutionize the way farming is done in order to provide food for the growing population in the most sustainable way. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, winners.
Now, I don't want you to run off too far, because before you go, I would like to ask Guy a question. Guy, now you're through to the finals and a shot at the XTC award at Vivatech in Paris in June. So what does reaching the finals mean for your company?
So first of all, we're very proud to be selected to the finals, especially for addressing the global challenges of poverty and inequality. As a neobank for migrants, we are committed to helping migrants and their families reach a more secure future. And since we are growing double-digit in Europe monthly now, we also hope that the competition will allow us to reach additional investors and potential partners.
Amazing. Well done to all 3 of you, and good luck. Thank you very much, Rutie. Well, that is all we have time for the OurCrowd news desk this year. I'm Sarah Williamson. It's been a pleasure to host you guys. Thank you very much.